Welcome back to the incredible history of Ballarat. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, we highly recommend you start there to uncover the gold rush beginnings, daring bank robberies, and the rise of this legendary city. You can find the link in the description. In this episode, the story takes an even more dramatic turn. From the explosive tensions that led to the Eureka Stockade to the transformation of Ballarat into a city of monuments, this is where history truly comes alive. And just when you think you've heard it all, a man from Ballarat commits an act so shocking that it sends ripples across the British Empire. Stay with us as we unravel more of Ballarat's fascinating and sometimes unexpected past. Following the Eureka Stockade, mining in Ballarat flourished. From Pennyweight Flat to Bakery Hill, the goldfields became a miner's dream, with horse-driven puddling machines becoming a common sight. Gold production nearly doubled, providing Ballarat with the wealth and confidence to invest in permanent structures, transforming the once makeshift township into a thriving and enduring community. Main Road served as the heart of business during the early gold rush days in Ballarat. Unlike planned streets, Main Road came into existence out of sheer necessity. Authorities hesitated to demand the removal of unauthorized structures, fearing it might spark public protests. Having recently dealt with the unrest of the Eureka Stockade, officials were unwilling to risk another rebellion. As a result, Assistant Surveyor Thomas Byerley was tasked with measuring the properties as they stood, allowing the existing width of the street to remain intact. Surveyor Taylor was brought in to assess the value of improvements so that compensation could be paid to any occupiers who chose not to or were unable to purchase their freeholds. Main Road was the only stretch of relatively level open space in the area, as the rest of the ground was churned up by mining activity. By 1856, Main Road, soon called Main Street, had fully transformed, lined with bars, theatres, and prominent businesses. The street became a bustling hub, with buildings packed so closely together that scarcely a gap remained. However, Main Street's history was also marked by frequent fires. The prevalence of both real and false alarms, combined with the zealousness of the fire brigade, earned Ballarat East the nickname Township of Bells. At one point, tensions ran so high that residents petitioned for the firemen to ring their bells only when responding to a fire or to mark the solemn occasion of a brigade member's death. On April 11, 1862, the people of Ballarat turned out in great numbers to witness a historic moment, the arrival of the first train on the newly completed rail line. It was a long-awaited event, and the excitement was palpable as Sir Henry Berkeley, the Governor of Victoria, arrived by train to officially open the line. The completion of the railway marked a significant turning point for Ballarat, but it also signalled the decline of Main Street's prominence. Once a bustling hub, and a vital highway for goods and passengers travelling from Geelong, Main Street saw its importance wane as the railway diverted much of that traffic. The station, located at Ballarat West, became the new focal point for commerce and activity. Major businesses and stores along Main Street soon migrated to Ballarat West, leaving behind the former heart of Ballarat's early gold rush days. In the mid-19th century, Ballarat's Irish community played a significant role in shaping the cultural and social fabric of the goldfields. Many Irish settlers carried with them a deep resentment toward British rule, born from years of oppression, famine, and dispossession in their homeland. This sentiment was particularly evident during the Eureka Stockade, where Irish miners were prominent in the fight against what they saw as unjust taxation and colonial overreach. Though the gold rush offered opportunities for prosperity, for many Irish in Ballarat, the monarchy remained a symbol of their struggles. This undercurrent of discontent set the stage for one of the most shocking acts of rebellion in Australia's colonial history. On March 12, 1868, a man from Ballarat, Henry O'Farrell, etched his name into Australian history with an act that shocked the nation. During Prince Alfred Ernest Albert's world tour aboard the steam frigate HMS Galatea, O'Farrell attempted to assassinate the Duke of Edinburgh, the second son of Queen Victoria. The royal tour had drawn immense crowds in Adelaide, Melbourne, Hobart, Brisbane, and Sydney, where thousands gathered to catch a glimpse of the Duke. The attack took place at Clontarf, Sydney, after the Prince had enjoyed a picnic at the Sailors' Home and was preparing to witness a traditional robbery. As the Duke mingled with his admirers, O'Farrell suddenly emerged from the crowd and fired a shot into his back. Chaos erupted. An enraged mob immediately descended upon O'Farrell, beating him unconscious before authorities intervened. Fortunately, Prince Alfred survived the attack, but O'Farrell's fate was sealed. Convicted with startling swiftness, he was sentenced to death and executed at Darlinghurst Jail just 5 weeks later. The incident sent shockwaves across the colonies, leaving a lasting mark on Australian history. O'Farrell was one of many defiant Irishmen of his era, harbouring a profound resentment toward British rule. To him, the attempted assassination was not merely an act against a royal visitor, but a symbolic strike against centuries of perceived injustice inflicted upon the Irish people. In his mind, it was a blow for freedom, echoing the struggles of his homeland. Like others before and after him, O'Farrell was willing to pay the ultimate price for what he believed to be a righteous cause, cementing his place in the annals of Australia's turbulent colonial history. By the 1870s, although Ballarat's gold reserves were dwindling, the city continued to thrive, sustained by its pastoral success and burgeoning industries. Unlike many other Victorian goldfield towns that faced decline, Ballarat evolved into a vibrant and resilient community. By the 1860s, over 50,000 acres of farmland surrounded the city, supporting a flourishing agricultural industry. Ballarat became a hub for agriculture-related trades and industries, with tent makers, coach builders, blacksmiths, foundries, watchmakers, and numerous other businesses thriving in the city and its surrounding areas. The region also emerged as Victoria's primary livestock-producing district, further diversifying its economy. By 1870, just 19 years after John Dunlop and James Regan pitched their camp at Poverty Point, Ballarat had grown into a bustling, progressive city. It boasted a population of over 40,000, with 56 churches, 3 town halls, 477 hotels, and 84 miles of constructed streets. The city's growth extended beyond its central area. After 1856, new townships emerged, including Sebastopol, developed around the workings of the Frenchman's Lead and other deep leads beneath the basalt. Sebastopol flourished alongside Ballarat, and was officially declared a borough in 1864, contributing to the region's expansion and prosperity. The town of Ballarat developed into 2 distinct councils, Ballarat East and Ballarat West, divided by the Yarrawee Creek. This division occurred early in the city's history, reflecting the different needs and priorities of its citizens. Ballarat East became home to those clustered along Main Road, close to the mines and transport hubs, while Ballarat West attracted individuals and businesses seeking more space for residences or commercial ventures. The municipality of West Ballarat was proclaimed in 1855, followed by the municipality of East Ballarat 2 years later. In its early days, the West Ballarat Council met in what is now Craig's Hotel until a dedicated council chambers building was constructed. Similarly, the East Ballarat Council held its initial meetings in a hotel before moving to more permanent premises. It took over 50 years for the 2 councils to agree on amalgamation, which finally occurred in 1921. However, the long-standing distrust between the 2 regions left a lasting legacy, evident in subtle divisions that persist even today. Each side had invested in prestigious town halls, with the main Ballarat Town Hall now serving as the focal point for local government. One factor contributing to the decline of Ballarat East was the significant presence of Chinese miners. Unlike the West, the East attracted many Chinese, who specialized in extracting gold from abandoned mines. Most were bachelors, and societal prejudice of the time cast them as a grave sexual threat to the wider community, further fueling the tensions between the 2 regions. Yulee Swamp initially served as the primary water source for Ballarat's early settlement. However, when it was no longer needed as the city's water supply, it was transformed into a recreational area, becoming the now famous Lake Wendouree. In 1858, land along the lake's western shore was reserved for a botanical garden, adding to the city's charm and civic pride. By the 1900s, Ballarat had matured into a thriving city. Streets such as Sturt Street, Lydiard Street, Dana Street, Doveton Street, Armstrong Street, and Mare Street were adorned with grand buildings that symbolized an era of prosperity. Sturt Street, in particular, gained prominence with its array of monuments, adding prestige and character to the city's landscape. The first of these was the Burke and Wills Memorial Fountain, established in 1863 to honor the ill-fated explorers, marking the beginning of Ballarat's tradition of commemorative public art. The visit of Prince Alfred laid the foundation for Ballarat to become a city of statues, embracing public art as a symbol of civic pride. One notable acquisition was Flight from Pompeii, purchased in 1887 in Rome using £3,000 bequeathed to the city by James Russell Thompson. Thompson's bequest also funded the construction of the Statuary Pavilion and included the striking sculpture of William Wallace. In 1884, Thomas Stoddart gifted 12 white marble statues to the Ballarat Botanical Gardens. Stoddart's hope was that these works would inspire the community to appreciate beauty and art, enriching the city's cultural heritage. On Queen's birthday, May 24, 1900, the marble statue of Queen Victoria by renowned sculptor Bertram McKennell was unveiled to commemorate her jubilee, further solidifying Ballarat's identity as a city adorned with monuments. Ballarat's legacy of social reform is also reflected in its statuary. The first miners' union in Victoria was formed in Ballarat in January 1870, and in 1880, a monument was erected on Sturt Street to honour James Galloway, one of the key figures behind the 8-hour workday movement. The attractions of Ballarat. The Avenue of Honour. Ballarat has long demonstrated its loyalty to the British Empire and its mother country. Until the 1930s, it was Victoria's second largest city after Melbourne. Despite this, Ballarat stood apart during the conscription referendums of World War I. In both the first referendum on the 28th of October, 1916 and the second on the 20th of November, 1917, while Victoria, as a whole voted yes, Ballarat returned a resounding no. Out of a population of just 4 million at the time, 416,809 Australians enlisted for service during World War I. Of these, an estimated 58,961 lost their lives, 166,811 were wounded, 4,098 went missing or became prisoners of war, and 87,865 suffered from illness. Like many Victorian townships, Ballarat sought to create a lasting memorial to honour these sacrifices. However, being a city built on gold, Ballarat's memorial had to be on a grand scale. The Ballarat Avenue of Honour stands as a testament to this ambition. Stretching 22 kilometres, it is the longest avenue of honour in Australia, comprising thousands of memorial trees, each accompanied by a plaque bearing the name of one of the 3,801 World War I service personnel who enlisted from the city of Ballarat and the township of Ballarat East. The avenue was created through 8 plantings between 1916 and 1919, all undertaken by volunteers. Complementing this remarkable avenue is the Arch of Victory, the largest commemorative arch in Australia. This iconic structure was opened on the 2nd of June, 1920 by Prince Edward, the Prince of Wales, who also officially inaugurated the Avenue of Honour, cementing its place as one of Ballarat's most significant landmarks. While the Ballarat Avenue of Honour was originally established to commemorate those who served in World War I, subsequent editions have honoured service members from later conflicts, reflecting its evolving significance as a lasting tribute to those who sacrificed for their country. Sovereign Hill. Sovereign Hill is a world-renowned open-air museum that transports visitors back to the bustling days of Ballarat's 1850s gold rush. Set across 64 acres of hillside, it recreates the sights, sounds, an atmosphere of a vibrant gold mining town. Visitors can stroll along dusty streets lined with period-style buildings, explore shops and businesses, and immerse themselves in demonstrations of traditional crafts and trades. This living history attraction brings the gold rush era to life with remarkable attention to detail. Visitors can witness the glow of molten metal at the blacksmith's forge, learn how candles were hand-dipped at the candle works, watch the meticulous craftsmanship of a wheelwright or coach builder, and indulge in sweet treats at the confectionery factory. For those seeking a hands-on experience, the chance to pan for real gold in the diggings is an unforgettable highlight. Opened in 1970, Sovereign Hill emerged from the vision of local Ballarat residents eager to preserve the region's rich gold rush heritage and breathe new life into the city through tourism. Over the decades, it has become one of Australia's most iconic heritage attractions, drawing visitors from around the globe. Adding to its charm is the sound and light show, which vividly recounts the story of the Eureka Stockade, blending history with dramatic effects. Sovereign Hill is more than a museum, it's a step back in time, offering an unforgettable glimpse into the hardships, triumphs, and adventures that shaped Ballarat's gold rush legacy. Lake Wendouree. Spanning over 18 hectares of parkland, Lake Wendouree is a cherished recreational and cultural hub in Ballarat. Before European settlement, it was a shallow, reedy swamp teeming with wildlife and served as a vital camping site for the nomadic Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation for thousands of years. Over time, this natural wetland was transformed into an artificial lake, English-style parkland, and a vibrant aquatic recreational facility. In 1861, an underground pipeline was installed from Kirk Reservoir to supply water to the lake. However, a severe drought in 1869 left the lakebed dry, providing a rare opportunity to reshape it. The reeds were cleared through controlled burning, and the lakebed was deepened by removing soil. During this period, the dry lakebed was even used to train racing horses. To enhance its British parkland aesthetic, old gum trees were felled and replaced with English trees. Today, Lake Wendouree is fed by stormwater from the urban catchment, retaining its artificial nature. The name Wendouree is believed to originate from the Aboriginal word Wendouree, meaning go away. The local folklore says that, when the first settler of Ballarat, William Cross-Yulee, asked a local Indigenous woman the name of the swamp, she replied, go away, which he misunderstood as its name. When W.S. Urquhart surveyed Ballarat, the area was officially recorded as Wendouree. W.C. Yulee, who occupied the land where Ballarat now stands, built his hut on the swamp's shores, which became known as Yulee's Swamp, later renamed Lake Wendouree. The lake served as Ballarat's primary water source until 1862, after which the surrounding district was divided into sheep stations. Boat sheds were constructed to house aquatic sporting clubs, marking the beginning of its transformation into a centre for recreation. By the late 19th century, Lake Wendouree had become a focal point of social and recreational life in Ballarat. By the 1870s, pleasure steamers plied its waters, ferrying daytrippers from View Point to the Botanical Gardens. Giant yachts, specially designed for the lake, became a common sight. The sporting tradition continued into the 20th century, with Lake Wendouree serving as the canoeing and rowing venue for the 1956 Melbourne Olympics. An electric tram line from the city encircles the lake, making it easily accessible. Wild waterfowl, including an abundance of black swans, add natural beauty to the lake, their presence made possible by a long tradition of protection. The Ballarat Botanical Gardens, situated opposite the parklands, further enhance the lake's appeal, solidifying its status as one of Ballarat's most popular tourist attractions. Ballarat Botanical Gardens. Established in 1858, the Ballarat Botanical Gardens are among Victoria's most significant regional botanic gardens, renowned for their gardenesque style. Spanning 40 hectares on the western shore of Lake Wendouree, the gardens are characterized by mature trees, vibrant bedding plants, intricate statuary, and a blend of historic and contemporary architecture. A testament to Ballarat's rich heritage, the gardens boast several remarkable features. These include a collection of 12 marble statues gifted by Thomas Stoddart, the elegant statuary pavilion, a returned ex-prisoner of war memorial, a striking conservatory, and the iconic Prime Minister's Avenue, a unique series of busts depicting Australia's prime ministers, nestled under a canopy of trees. The discovery of gold in Ballarat in 1851 marked a turning point in the city's fortunes, transforming it from an isolated squatter settlement into one of the world's wealthiest townships. Recognizing the need for civic beautification, the Ballarat municipality converted the police horse paddock into the Botanical Gardens in 1858, creating a tranquil space that has since become a symbol of Ballarat's prosperity and community spirit. Ballarat Tramway Museum. The Ballarat Tramway Museum was established to preserve and celebrate the unique tramway experience that once defined transportation in Ballarat. Visitors can step back in time and ride aboard one of the beautifully restored 100-year-old trams, which traverse the scenic route through the Botanical Gardens alongside Lake Wendouree. At the museum depot, the story of Ballarat's trams is vividly told through photographs, memorabilia, and historical exhibits. The collection offers a glimpse into a bygone era when trams were a vital part of daily life in the city. Ballarat's tram history began in 1887 with the introduction of horse-drawn trams, which were later electrified in 1905, making Ballarat one of the earliest adopters of electric tram technology in regional Australia. The tram network played a pivotal role in connecting the city's suburbs and key landmarks, fostering both social and economic growth. Although Ballarat's tram services ceased in 1971, the museum ensures that this rich legacy endures. It serves as a living tribute to the city's tramway heritage, offering a nostalgic and educational experience for visitors of all ages.